Peter.
Greetings, Nadel Tebeli and corners. How is everyone? I hope you're great, Nadel Tebeli.
Yes, good evening, and greetings to all the shareholders. Can I just have a few minutes of your time and then allow you and Didi Polo to continue with the meeting? I just want to give an update on the distribution that is ongoing. We made an announcement on the website where we provided the guideline as to how we will be working with those who did not receive their tokens. And then we are still sticking to that to say people who did not receive their tokens, they are expected this time around to make sure that they update their details in the system. We will no longer be accepting the queries that are submitted via WhatsApp or via really takes time, and then it makes people who now end up complaining that we are ignoring their messages and all that. So it causes a lot of stress. Will report and quickly do the distribution. So we and the other one, the list that we have just submitted today, is the list of the people who made additional investments in terms of, let's say, for somebody who's in Class C, who put 2,000 instead of 1,000 for their additional investment, as well as those in Class B who received, who
Greetings. Possibly, maybe can I have the share opportunity so that I can get started? I think that LWA has had some challenges with this connection. It will be great if we can get started. That if I can just get the screen sharing activated so that we can get started, and then we don't delay our call as going ahead. And that LWA, are you there?
Ndare.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
I think. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Ndare. Sorry, my network messed me up. Sorry, my apologies to the shareholders, but I was just finishing up to say we are actually continuing with the distribution, and the list that we have just submitted is for the additional investment that people have made, and the formula that was used there is for both class B and C on the total that we calculate was paid 2,000 for every additional 1,000 that they have paid.
It seems that Delta Valley has a network problem. But I think just to give an update, finish up on what he was saying was that we've submitted a list of people who will be paid, people who made additional investments from Class B and Class C. So we'll continue with the distribution. The important thing is that the shareholders who have not received their tokens, please update your profile with your La Token email address and your username and your wallet address. Another important thing is we encountered a few problems with those who tried to submit their information. They put it in the wrong format. The email format is wrong. For example, one would say Paygo, instead of saying @gmail.com, they put the $ or another symbol instead of the @ for the email. So please confirm that you have put in the proper details. I think we'll have another meeting where we'll only be discussing this issue, and maybe making demonstration with a few accounts as to what people are doing wrong. But I think the most important thing is for everyone to know that the Weownomy distribution is ongoing. So the important thing is update your information and you receive your Weowns. So without wasting any time, Dr. Peter, please go ahead.
Thank you, Nadefeko, and I'm happy to be able to present today. Sorry that we are not able to have the usual update meetings every Sunday, but today is very important. As you know, we do have a lot of great work that we do behind the scene, and I have been sharing very critical information during the week with the groups. And so today it's very, very important that I'm going to take you through how the very important one-to-one wrap ratio of WEONs to USDT will be implemented, and also the strategy of how all this will be done. So as you know very well, we congratulate everyone who was part of the 7 billion WEONs distribution. So we have quite a number of class A, B, C, D, all of you guys who are able to get the WEONs. And unfortunately, most of you who don't really pay attention with what I always try to explain to you, I really want to make sure that you pay attention and listen very carefully, because all the information that we have right here and we're explaining to you and we provide you, and we want to make sure that you are able to listen and benefit, and rather than you guys doing things irrationally and then you don't benefit. So as you understand the whole subject of today, based on the different communications that I've been sharing in the group, mainly the two important press releases that went out. One of the press release talked about the 90 million USDT program, and then another one talked about the listing of XWEONs, which already we have on the DeFi platform, but now it's also on a private exchange, Trust Exchange, and I want you to be able to learn more about it. So the whole meeting today will focus on two things: the access program for WEON holders. And when I say WEON holders, I'm really focusing mainly on those ones who have not dumped the token, because we requested the token exchange to give us the breakdown. And what we're actually seeing is that out of 100,000, 155,000 WEON holders who actually received the tokens, over 55,000 have actually sold out. So that means they don't own any WEONs, and we have very few. So we have probably 100,000 who still have those WEONs. And so I'm talking now mainly to the WEONs holders. So that's very, very important for you to be able to understand. So the game plan is, as you know very well, that XWEONs Treasury Reserve DeFi platform asset exchange was launched, and that's very important that you understand the benefit. As you all guys know, what has happened in the market recently, the crypto crash that has just happened a few days ago, and again, the launch of XWEONs, and actually we have, I think, more than 1,000 holders of XWEONs, and it has been doing tremendously well. Nothing has affected it. The price is fixed to 82, and all of the holders are very, very disciplined, and so that's very, very powerful. And what we want to make sure with the access program, the 90 million USDT swap access program, is to make sure that most of the WEON holders can be able to benefit. So the way this 90 million USDT swap access program is going to work is that we are going to put a liquidity program. We are not going to distribute the USDT to you, but it will be in a liquidity program. So you have to have the wrapped WEONs. When you have it on the liquidity, when you have your WEONs, the wrapped WEONs through the La chain, you can be able to benefit from that liquidity program, which will match your WEONs in form of 1 to USDT, and then you can be able to benefit from the XWEONs Treasury Reserve DeFi platform. So I'll be able to show you strategically how that will be unveiled, and that's the most important message or focus of today, and clearly to show you step by step. Now, we are very, very blessed to have just signed with the hedge fund agreement, which is of 5 billion euros. And that 5 billion will be entirely used to fund the XUN infrastructure, which is the financial infrastructure exchange, the asset exchange. And that means also our WIONs will benefit. And so that's very, very important. And this is for the whole market, so the whole infrastructure for the whole market. But it means immediately it's very important that our co-owners or the WION holders will be able to benefit, and as well, you'll also be able to participate to cross over for the XWION's conversion program. So that's very, very important for you to be able to understand. Now, it's very critical to know that we have come a long way, and we have one of the best assets that allows us to actually have very critical institutional investors, I must say, who are totally now interested in our program and in our exchange, and that's something very powerful. So with XWIONs, it has brought us a great deal of publicity out there. If you can be able to have read all the news that we have. And so it's very, very, very important. You need to differentiate. Are you a WIONs holders? I'm now talking mainly to the WIONs holders. I'm not talking, if you've sold out your WIONs, please, this presentation is not important for you, rather than it's only important for those ones who have WIONs and who want to benefit and understand that they are going to be in for a long-term benefit, and how this is going to be unveiled is very important for you to be able to understand that. So it's critically great news for those ones who are still disciplined enough and understand why it's important to be in for a long time. So it's very, very important. So we are launching the newest 90 million USDT swap access program for WION holders. And today you'll be able to learn how this whole program is going to be unveiled. Strategically, we are working with Tether. Tether is mainly the owner of USDT, which you guys know, and USDT is used all over the exchanges. And because of a very special hedge fund agreement that we have for 5 billion euros, it has been very important and very strategic for us to be able to have it, to use it, to make sure that we have a strategic collaboration with Tether, and we're able to launch. So what Tether does, it works with merchants, it works with exchanges. And what happens is that the XWIONs is a DeFi exchange. So it's a decentralized finance exchange. And so it's very, very important that we have this. So it's a great opportunity for WION holders. And when I talk of WION holders, it's not necessarily co-owners. It means even someone out there who has gone to La Token and has purchased the WION. So this program will definitely include non-co-owners because they also own WION. So if you own WIONs, that is the most important thing. If you don't own WIONs and you recklessly sold out, that means this is not for you. We are mainly talking for everyone who currently owns WIONs and he wants to benefit from the large-scale swap to the fixed XWIONs, which is 282 Treasury Reserve DeFi platform. So that's very, very important that you need to understand. So you will be able to get a fixed, predictable conversion of 1-to-1 WIONs equals to USDT and get the best advantages, which will also benefit the non-co-owners who are WION holders. So the access program is very simple. We're going to create a liquidity program so that when you go to Ladex exchange, you'll be able to put, when you match both the USDT and the wrapped WIONs, you'll be able to see that it's one-on-one. But before that happens, we are finalizing a critical memorandum, which I'm going to show you. It's already signed by the hedge fund agreement. We've already also signed it on, and Tether is also signing it. And then the issuance goes ahead, and that's going to be something very, very, very important going forward, because the whole point of the 90 million USDT is just to simply create a liquidity that allows all the Weon holders to cross over and convert to experience, and then have stability sustainably, and make sure that they can benefit, because that's a very, very important issue here going forward. And I want you to pay critical attention to what I'm saying, and you can be able to listen and understand. And that's very, very critically, because what you are clearly getting here is to understand how you are going to make sure you benefit from this liquidity access program for Weon holders. And again, I repeat, this is only mainly for those ones who have been disciplined enough and made sure that they don't mess up, and they have their Weons. And so that's the benefit. And so if for any reason, if you had your Weons and you recklessly sold it for any short-term gains, so this could not really help you. And so that's where you're going to see the people who are patient are going to be able to benefit, and the people who are not patient will definitely have a problem seeing others benefit, and then because of your reckless or irrational decisions that you made, you may not be able to benefit. So you are the one who chooses to become the best of what you desire to be, or you allow yourself to lose such an important opportunity after a long wait. And so this is critically important for you to listen and understand, okay? So that's very important. Now, at this point, I'm going to go through two important documents. I'm going to go through the Tether Strategic Collaboration Memorandum, and also the signed agreement, which is highly confidential with the hedge fund. So those are the two important documents that allows to make sure that we can be able to establish what is required for the access program to allow as many of you to be able to swap much more easier, and you get to be the best of what you can be. So we do a great deal of work behind the scene. And so let me take you quickly so that you understand. And again, Tether, they're one of the biggest, they're actually the founders of the USDT stablecoin. And what happens is we are opening a collaboration with them, which will not only start with 90 million USDT, but again, the collaboration is so strategic that they will end up using XWeons as an alternative reserve. So XWeons will also be playing a part as an alternative reserve for them, because it's put up in a very strategic way. One, because XWeons is clearly auditable. All of the shareable fees is distributed among the holders and makes the whole system to be stable without having run-in. Run-ins means people cashing in big numbers, and then they are not able to make sure that the currency is stable. So that's what we're offering. A very unique solution in the market that allows our new stable coin fixed at 282 to be stable. And so we have both hedge funds, critical partners, and now together with Tether to really make sure that this is something critically important. So I'm going to take you to this important memorandum so that you can understand what this means. So it's important you understand what we do, how we do it, how we make you successful, rather than just saying, I want to become successful without understanding. And I keep telling you, without having the most important strategic partners that you need, you can't be successful. And so we're very glad that we have all these important heavyweight partners that help us to make sure that we do the best that is required. So I'm going to read this strategic memorandum for you guys so that you can be able to understand it. So I'm going to read it a little bit slow and you understand what has established this clear partnership with Tether, and how also be able to read another important agreement with our hedge fund. And that's going to be something very critical. And this differentiates and brings Weownomy's ecosystem much more powerful, because you are going to see that we have something very, very important. So the memorandum says that the memorandum of understanding regarding a strategic collaboration between Weownomy's Treasury Reserve DeFi platform and Tether issuance of 90 million USDT, leveraging the signed hedge fund 5 billion euros agreement. So just reading the underlined first important statement, it means that we are establishing a strategic collaboration of Weownomy, the DeFi platform, and Tether is going to issue 90 million USDT, and they will use the hedge fund 5 billion euros agreement. So that means the hedge fund is actually guaranteeing the 90 million USDT that is going to be issued. And in addition to that, it now establishes the Weownomy in a much different position strategically in the whole market. And again, we have something very, very important in the market. It means with the network that Tether has across the whole markets of the crypto industry, Weownomy will be known all over. And that is something big, something very, very powerful. And so that's very critical. You understand that without having the strategic partners we have, then we cannot be able to be what we are. But these strategic partners help us to accomplish a great deal. Okay. So the memorandum continues. This memorandum of understanding regarding a strategic collaboration of Weownomy Treasury Reserve DeFi platform and Tether issuance of 90 million USDT, leveraging the hedge fund 5 billion euros agreement is entered into as of May 20th, which is 2 days. They will be finalizing it by and between Weownomy Platform Corporation, represented by the CEO Semakula Peter Lima, a Delaware corporation, the company, and Tether Operations Limited, represented by its CEO, Jean-Louis Van Velde, and the CTO, Paulo Ardinho, here referred to as Tether, and together with the hedge fund, the parties. So that's something which is very, very critical. So the Treasury Reserve stablecoin Weownomy token is fixed at 282, which means it maintains stability regardless of changes in other currencies or asset prices. Furthermore, there are two fee structures, one for buying orders where 4% goes towards the stabilization reserve, one for selling orders where 40% goes toward the stabilization reserve, both distributed among Weownomy holders, okay? So the parties believe an autonomous Weownomy Treasury Reserve decentralized financial platform that is stabilized by this shareable charges protocol can protect traders against market downturns and enjoy sustainable growth at any time on their investment. So with the lessons of the recent crypto crash, thus lessening the traders' risk exposure in times when prices go down quickly, like during the current Terra Luna stablecoin crash. So what we're establishing is simply very critical, not only for our own ecosystem, but for the whole crypto industry. So it's something very powerful. So the purpose of this MOU is to establish a strategic collaboration for sustainable treasury reserve growth and protection from market volatility with Weownomy, a unique autonomous treasury reserve token now trading on the decentralized exchange with the price pegged at 282, backed by a tangible asset in the form of shareable charges. Okay. Now, again, we go ahead. The 90 million Tether USDT issuance for XWIN's decentralization finance for crypto asset stability. One, signed hedge fund 5 billion euros agreement to fund the XWIN's token to leverage the hedge fund agreement for Tether issuance of 90 million USDT. Two, the sustainable growth through the fixed price, shareable charges, and autonomous decentralized finance platform, the protection against the market volatility due to our decentralized finance models, stability mechanism, which links crypto assets to fiat reserves. Then number three, this strategic collaboration provide XWIN's holders access to Tether's dollar-pegged stablecoin, which will be used for Tether to issue 90 million USDT, leveraging the hedge fund agreement for XWIN's Treasury Reserve DeFi platform tokens through the LaChain blockchain-powered decentralized finance infrastructure. And we refer to the two press releases, okay? So the parties desire to set forth terms that they have discussed in this MOU and the framework for the finalization of a binding transaction. So now, therefore, in consideration of the foregoing premises and the covenants hereinafter contained, the parties agree as follows. One, the intent of the strategic collaboration is to leverage the hedge fund agreement for Tether to issue 90 million Tether USDT with XWIN's hedge fund agreement, with the hedge fund agreement to provide funding for the XWIN token. So commitment, number two, the commitment of the hedge fund to provide for XWIN's reserve token in the amount up to 5 billion, and then alternative Tether reserve assets. So it means XWIN's will create alternative reserve asset for Tether USDT, starting with the issuance of 90 million in Tethers that are backed by the shareable charge fees, revenues from the minted XWIN's reserve DeFi platform and the hedge fund agreement. Okay, so it's a whole complete MOU, and so this MOU, what it does, it brings us together with the hedge fund agreement that has been signed together, and Tether is going to use that to issue the 90 million USDT, and then that 90 million USDT is the one that is going to be used to provide the liquidity to do the swaps that are required to establish one-on-one wins to USDT. Now, secondly, because this memorandum and together with these important agreements, they are highly confidential, but I'm just reading the very most important areas for you to be able to appreciate. Now, I'm also reading another section from the hedge fund agreement so that you can also be able to understand this. Okay, so for the hedge fund, I was going to provide you that understanding, and then you can be able to see that. So the terms of the hedge fund agreement is, in this agreement, the following expression shall, except where the context otherwise requires, have the meanings respectively set opposite them. So, by the way, it's highly confidential, so I'm just reading some of the sections which are very, very important for you to understand that, and so that you can be able to quickly see the critical areas. So I just want to go to the most important area, which is where I want you to focus. So the term that we have signed with the hedge fund is for 5 years. Now, what we have signed with the hedge fund, most of the countries in Africa cannot be able to get it. I can tell you very few countries can be able to get such a huge deal that we have. with this hedge fund. Okay. Now everything is highly confidential, but I'm giving you just a sneak peek so that you understand. So the hedge fund and the client agreed that the hedge fund will provide funding for the token in the amount of 5 billion euros. Okay. So the client agrees that the hedge fund will custodial 5 billion of the client's token, the wallet address as described in the second schedule. So what has happened, this hedge fund agreement that we signed led to the listing of Weownomy on the private exchange, okay? And so what is happening is it now is going to provide a wider number of people in the community to be able to purchase the Weownomy. At the same time, those ones who are going to also participate with it during the DeFi. So we now have both on the DeFi platform and on the private exchange. The private exchange is exclusively for the $1 million clients who have high net worth funds that they can be able to buy. And for you guys, you can continue to use the MetaMask, and we're going to facilitate the liquidity to allow you guys to do the easier one-on-one swap ratio to allow you to benefit on that. So that's something very critical that we have, that the hedge fund agreement that has been signed allows us now to leverage a new unique partnership with Tether for the 90 million USDT that will allow us many possible people, especially the ones who are Weownomy holders, including non-co-owners, provided you have Weownomy, you'll be able to benefit from this. So that's very, very powerful. So we're showing you strategically how business is done and how you are going to benefit. So that's very, very important. So with that, two important documents that I've shared with you. One, which is the strategic collaboration MOU. Two, which is the strategic hedge fund agreement. Then it puts us in a very critical position that allows us to be able to accomplish a great deal of opportunities that is going to be offered to all the Weownomy holders who are patient, who are intelligent, and who understand that you are going to be able to benefit from this, because we have the very critical strategic partners that we have already assembled for you. So this is something very, very, very important, okay? So I want you to listen very carefully. Going forward, what we have is the Tether has allowed us, we've already opened an account with Tether, which will be used to deposit the 90 million USDT. And then secondly, we are finalizing the very critical stage, which they need to work around with the hedge fund so that they can go forward to release the USDT. But the good news is the hedge fund agreement that we signed guarantees that whatever Tether requires, that is going to be finished, that will be cleared. And so it's a matter of now Tether completing the due diligence that they require on our side. We provided them all the information that they do require so that they can finalize that account we have with them. And then from there, we can then get the 90 million USDT, which will be used for the liquidity to allow you guys to be able to do the one-on-one ratio, and then the swaps, which will allow you to convert to Experience. So what is going to happen with this program, we are not going to distribute the USDT to you. We are just going to create a liquidity pool where you have to transfer, because we have seen there's a very big problem with most of you who quickly mess up the wheel. So what we do, those ones who critically are holders will be the only ones who benefit. So again, this important MOU and hedge fund agreement enables us to be able to provide you a fixed conversion rate of $1 wrapped yuans equivalent to $1 wrapped USDT. And so that means this time, it's not only for co-owners, it means that even non-co-owners can benefit in the predictable conversion of their yuans. So regardless of the yuans that you have currently, the price in the market, you will be able to convert it one-on-one, and which will be equal to USDT, while co-owners will still be able to enjoy new benefits, including the fixed exchange rates that they get as they convert to XYuans. And again, we are setting up a peer lending programs, a lending protocol that will also be introduced with XYuans and the decentralized treasury reserve trading. Now that there is a centralized place where both holders can benefit from each other's success through the respective instruments. So this will offer a stable value security based on the stability that we are able to allow you to convert billions as you have them. And when you have them, if you've not dumped them, then you are going to be able to benefit with the one-on-one conversion, and as well as fair access to all opportunities with an economy that is not inflated by fractional reserve banking practices or backed by fiat currency risk. So again, this is a very, very big opportunity that we already have a signed hedge fund agreement, and that signed hedge fund agreement allows us to open doors strategically with Tether. And Tether is not going to start only with 90 million USDT, but they will also be continuously issuing whatever that we need to build, because now XYuans has been discovered as something very critical. Now, this 90 million USDT swap access program is strictly for the yuan holders. That means if you have yuans, you are disciplined, you're patient, okay? And you now have that opportunity. This is a program that not any other cryptocurrency has in the industry because of the kind of strategic partners that we have. So the conversion of one-on-one yuans with USDT allows a large-scale swap offers for many people, especially the yuan holders, to benefit on a liquidity with valuable stability, with no loss in value for holders, as well as opportunity to convert small amounts at advantageous rates. So that means that is going to be something very critical for all of you, especially who have wheels. If you listen critically, and this is very important. And so with this competitive pricing structure, all participants will receive a fair share without any additional cost or fees incurred with conversions from one asset type to another, which is the XYuans on the chain blockchain, because we're just putting up a huge pool, and on that pool, you guys will be able to convert your XYuans, your yuans to XYuans. So we want to do that and to allow you to achieve that. And so what's going to happen is we are finalizing with Tether, making sure that they will be able to provide 90 million USDT, and the hedge fund has signed the agreement. I have signed on behalf of the company, and the CEO of Tether and Tether are remaining to sign it. And then we've already opened an account with Tether, so that 90 million USDT will be able to come through, and then we will announce and provide you the updates in that regards. But that's already, since we have the hedge fund agreement signed, it means there will be no complications with Tether in any way, because we have a heavyweight hedge fund, guaranteeing all this, and that's going to be something very critical for Tether to be able to move forward, and then we can be able to implement the fixed conversion rate, full protection, and allow you guys to benefit in this important breakthrough. So that's very, very critical for you. Now, this is very, very, as I told you, that we're having wonderful programs, wonderful developments that we have. And because of Xweon's Treasury Reserve DeFi platform that was successfully launched by the token exchange, it has now brought us very great, unique strategic partners. And that provides you guys an exclusive access, because that means the Weownomy holders will be the very first numbers of holders who will be able to convert the Weownomy to a very stable ratio of 1-to-1 with USDT, so that they can benefit with the swap onto the Xweon. So we're able to have a guaranteed protection for all holders of the digital assets and fair access into the liquidity pool. So everyone, provided you have Weownomy, you'll have that fair access to the liquidity pool. And with the new offering, you'll be able to convert your wrapped Weownomy with a fixed rate of Xweownomy 282 at any time, okay? And then the Weownomy holders are given an exclusive opportunity to swap their tokens for USDT, providing liquidity and reducing volatility, and converting it, swapping it directly to Xweownomy. So that's something very powerful. And any token holder who wishes to participate in the swap process is able to do so without discrimination, and will have equal rights for participation based on how many tokens are held by each individual participant in the program at any given time. And with the swap process initiated by the board, it will allow all the Weownomy holders to convert the Weownomy tokens into a fixed amount of USDT. And then this program guarantees that there will be no issues with security or risk and conversion risks, as they're locked at a rate that can't fluctuate like other exchanges do currently, okay? So this is absolutely very, very important. And I wanted to just make that presentation straight to the point. We have signed with a hedge fund agreement for 5 billion euros. And we have a strategic MOU that is being supported by the hedge fund agreement that is being signed, that we have already signed, that allows Tether to also follow through and have the 90 million USDT, which will create a big pool that allows you to do the swap and make sure you have your wrapped Weownomy one-on-one that allows you to swap, and you're able to get the Xweownomy. So that's something critically important, making your whole journey very, very easy. Now, we are now coming to a very critical point that I also shared another important press release discussing about the private trust exchange. And this private trust exchange is also affiliated with the hedge fund that we signed an agreement with, went ahead and listed Xweownomy on the 14th of May. And this is for $1 million investors. And this is also something very, very critical, that, again, the private trust exchange will also have an opportunity to also list Weownomy, and they are also offering an offer of purchasing Weownomy from the market or from the holders, if you like, in between $1 up to $50. So that is also something very critical for Weownomy holders who are disciplined and understand what this means, okay? So this is a very critical move, as you're able to see. So the $1 million professional and institutional investors are now able to purchase Xweownomy. So this is critically for the high net worth and institutional investors. And as I told you, that in addition, with the access program that provides 1-to-1 ratio, we also have a Weownomy purchase program that will also go ahead from $1 up to $50. So what that means, it allows you an opportunity to decide to say you have an opportunity to participate in the access program that allows you to participate with the 90 million USDT, convert your Weownomy. If you didn't sell them, by the way, this presentation is only for Weon holders. Whether you are Weonomer or you're not Weonomer, but you have Weons. If you don't have Weons, please, this presentation is not for you because already you have decided to cash out, and that is for you. But for those ones who have their Weons and they're ready to become sustainably rich, so this is very, very important for you. And listen carefully, because if you don't listen, you continue to make very critical mistakes that are going to cost you a great deal. And that's why you're going to see Weon holders who are not co-owners very rich, and co-owners who are reckless, ending up with nothing and going back to the street with zero. So this is for Weon holders. If you are Weonomer and you still have Weons, congratulations, this is gonna help you very, very well. If you don't have the Weons, please, you need to go back to the market, buy those Weons, as now I am explaining critically what this is gonna help you and how you're gonna benefit. So I have shown you initially the program access for the 90 million USDT. We have already signed an agreement, hedge fund agreement for 5 billion euros. We have also, we have already signed also a strategic collaboration, which is now already signed myself together with the hedge fund, and now it will also be followed up with Tether, so that we go ahead and have the 90 million USDT liquidity pool set up for you guys. And we have already listed X Weons, and you'll be able to see that today. And that is very strategic steps that are happening, okay? And so you have to listen very carefully if you want to benefit. So the professional and institutional investors can purchase Weons using over-the-counter trading desk with 4% buy order fee and 40% sell order fee applied. And you can now be able to sell X Weons for fiat currency on the private trust exchange, which is critically for $1 million institutional investors. And you can also be able to purchase X Weons. That is critically only for the $1 million investors. And so most of you guys will have now to use the DeFi platform, whereby you can be able to leverage using the liquidity that we're setting up that allows you to swap your wrapped Weons to X Weons, okay? Now, that is very critical. And we already have an Ether scan. And so this Ether scan confirms that we already sent 5 billion of Ethereum X Weons. So there's a difference between the LAChain LAC20 contract address for the minted X Weons, and then the Ethereum X Weons that now has also been sent to the private exchange. We've sent over 5 billion X Weons, which people are now, especially the institutional investors, are using to make sure that they purchase the Weons. Okay, so I want to be able to share with you that. So just a moment, I want to show you that so that you can be able to see that. Just a moment. Okay, just a moment. All right, so that's a very critical thing. All right. All right, so this is proof that we sent 5 billion of X Weons to the private trust exchange. And as we speak, that is now being utilized by the institutional investors high net worth investors who are purchasing it at 282. So those ones, you have to have $1 million and above to participate in that. And we successfully sent that to them. So that's very, very important to be able to share with you. And so let me also show you the proof that indeed Xweons was listed on the private exchange. So that's also critical for you to also see. Okay. And again, remember, according to the report that we have got from La Token, we now only have 30,000 holders who are Weownomers. And imagine we distributed over 7 billion Weons to over 155,000. So most of whom we think they are Weownomers dumped the token, and we are only remaining with 30,000 Weownomers who are going to benefit. So the rest dumped, and they're going to regret it for the rest of their lives. And that is very, very unfortunate that they dumped the token. And so, and now is the right time when all this important good news is coming up, and they are not going to be part of it. But those ones who are going to be part of it, and those ones who are the 30,000 holders, please don't make the mistake, because a great deal of people are purchasing Weons in big numbers. And so please, those ones who are remaining, you guys are very, very blessed. Now, this is the private exchange. It's a VIP exchange, which is paired with Xweons with Bitcoin. And it shows that when someone uses Bitcoin to buy Xweons, to sell Xweons, they deduct 40%, okay? And they're able to get when they're selling the digital assets. They're selling the digital asset to get Bitcoin, so they deduct 40%. So that is it. So that's on the private exchange, okay? If you're buying Xweons, pairing it with Ethereum, you pay with a premium of 4%, okay? All right, and excuse me. And again, if you're buying it with USDT with a premium of 4, okay, this is how the dashboard looks on the private exchange, okay. And if you're selling it, pairing it with Ethereum, okay, that also is there. And at the same time, if you sell it, pairing it with USDT, okay? And all right, so that is the critical part of it I've shown you. And now we come to the very important point that we got information from La Token Exchange that out of the 155,000 holders, a great number of people sold out their Weons, because we really take time to educate you. We really provide you information, and we show you step by step how you're going to be successful. But I have seen, and I'm disappointed for what most 90, I think over 92% of our co-owners are going to lose out because of their reckless mistake. How can you sell your Weons for $7? 45,000%. okay? You are supposed to listen, follow, okay? And make sure you benefit. Now that we have a signed hedge fund agreement, now that we even have an opportunity to provide you free liquidity so that you can do your experience conversion, so that you have a sustainable future, and you decide to waste this precious opportunity by dumping your tokens, and people are going to pick those tokens, become successful, and they're not even co-owners. That is very disappointing. And if you are one of the people who did that, and you are many, because we have already got records, we want, and I kept telling you, you have to be a wise Weownomy who trades with a purpose. You don't go through life without understanding what your purpose is. Most of you have been crying about having a clear opportunity. And this is a strategic opportunity that has been provided to you. Everything, it's like we're spoon feeding you. But what do? You throw away that opportunity to someone else who is going to be successful, and then you continue to wallow in poverty because of your own action. Instead of listening, you blew it. And when you blew it, what does that mean? We have done our part. We have educated you every now and again, okay? You have messed up. And what is going to happen? Other people are going to take up your own blessing and become successful because they are listening to the same Zoom meetings that I do. They even know. I show you where the money is going to come from. I show you the agreements that are being made. I show you everything. But what do you decide to do? Because you think life is easy, you just want things your own way. You don't want to listen, follow, and understand that it's important to learn from the best. It's important to be patient. It is important to be disciplined in life, and it is important to listen. Okay? And once you listen, you are going to be successful. I want to see you successful, building a good house, being able to not only support your family, but also your grandchildren who will come after you with this important opportunity. Now, a company, Weownomy, getting 5 billion euros because of X-Weons, being able to provide you liquidity to allow you to convert your X-Weons to a stable, Weons to a stable X-Weons, and allow you to have something successful for your life. And what do? You blow it just because you don't have that understanding of what it takes to build something that is going to help you. And what you do, you going to blame yourself. And now we are going to see other people taking up the opportunity that was supposed to be with you. Now, for those ones who still have the Weons, I want you to be wise. And I want you to write down 2 years, because there's no more Weons until 2024. Write a 2-year plan. Start simple. Before you even think about the car, start simple. Things like make sure you can plan for grocery. Make sure you can plan for your kids. Make sure you look for those small debts that you have been accumulating and stuff like that. And make sure you understand, how much do I spend in a month? How much can I be able to spend in a year? And before you think of going to all those important trips that you're dreaming about, start with the basics. Do you have sustainable food? Do you have what it takes to be able to meet your basic needs? And that's what you can use if you want to cash out. But you cannot cash out more than what you have, because Weowns is like your asset, okay? And that is so important that you have to treat it preciously. If you don't, other people who are taught how to treat asset preciously are going to do that, okay? So be very careful and make sure that you listen, okay? So I thought that's very, very important to share with you guys that you need to understand, if you don't have a purpose, it leads you to dump the token because you think when you have money, just because you invested a little amount and you get a little amount, you're okay. But later on, when you hear people who are going to benefit from the same asset that you recklessly messed up, then what it's going to do is going to hurt you. And most of you are going to regret the decision you did, because we have the records that most of you behaved irrationally and you messed up. And now the people who are listening to this Zoom are now mostly the very important people who understand, because we have all the game plan and we show you everything. So educate yourself, learn to trade with a purpose or a goal, and avoid dumping tokens for short-term gains, okay? And so that's very, very important. So 7 billion Weowns distribution program, we have had 55,000, and from 55,000 people who dumped it, now I understand more. I've been doing the same, and yet we are explaining to you all these important developments that require you to be successful. But if you choose not to be successful, don't blame us. It is your choice. And you're going to own up with that choice. And those ones who are going to be successful, we welcome them, because they will show the difference of those who listened and those who wasted their time, okay? So in life, you need to understand and follow through. There is nothing you are going to earn without understanding the whole process. But it's your opportunity. You got the asset. You decided to do what you want to do with the asset. And those ones who are patient and follow through and understand that we are dealing with all these important strategic partners, and it's going to be something powerful, they are going to be successful and have a sustainable future going forward. So this is your future and this is your time. But again, it is for those ones who are going to be the Weowns holders. Okay? If you're a Weowns holder, this is your future, this is your time. If you cashed out, unfortunately, that is goodbye to you. Okay? And this is going to be something critical for our people to learn in life. When you're making decisions, be disciplined. Because if you're disciplined and we provide you all the information, don't think you are going to win the war of poverty with emotions. You are going to win the war of poverty because you're disciplined and you learn at every stage. Look at all the successful people who are around the world. It was not that easy. Just like anyone, people think that you're going to switch on and just get rich like that. So we're showing you everything, and we have strategically built this business in front of your eyes, okay? And that is the most critical thing, that you learn to be disciplined, have a clear vision, And when you have that clear vision, it's going to help. So set a clear vision for 2 to 3 years. Plan your strategy accordingly, and make sure you don't follow into the fear of missing out, because that's the most important thing. When people are cashing out, they're cashing out because they're seeing everyone is cashing out. Okay? So it's important you listen, because you decide to be successful, or you decide you are going back to the streets. And when you see others being successful, because they listen. Okay? And when you listen, you are, even that time you think you waited for long, you're going to be very happy, because you listen, you follow through, you're disciplined, and you're going to be successful. And that's how successful people are. There's no shortcut. Everything is going to be great. But we are so surprised. Most of the people were even selling for $7. Even $7, you know, the token to cash out, you need to pay $40 there. They don't even know. They're just selling everything. What does that mean? You are bringing curse upon yourself. You had a precious opportunity. You had all the knowledge, all the time. Every time we're educating you. And what do? You had everything, and you decided to choose that and throw it away because you are impatient. Remember, this is your future and this is your time. But for those who have their wills, so that's very critical for you. Now, the rich will always remain the rich because they are patient. They listen, okay? And they understand. But again, what have we done? What we have done is to make sure we build a community of kindness. We have provided everyone the wills, and understand from Untitled Chapter, even the ones who have not yet received, you guys are going to be able to receive your wills, okay? And you now understand you have two options. You have the access program for swapping, which allows you 1-to-1 ratio. You also have a great opportunity to be able to participate with the private exchange, whereby they are going to provide the wills holders to be able to sell between $1 to $50. Just sit down and look and see how you can plan your way out and become successful. So that's very, very important. And be disciplined. That's the most important thing. And listen. If you don't listen, act recklessly, you are going to be part of the statistics, okay? Which is going to prove that indeed, when you are given an opportunity, you decided to let that opportunity by dumping the tokens in the market, and someone else is picking those tokens for free. And what happens when this opportunity goes up, which is going to happen in very few days, and it's going to be terrible news for you guys, because you're going to see other people being so happy, okay? And that is something which is not good. After we did everything to create a better future for you, so that you can create a better future for your children. But unfortunately, if you did not follow through, that again is going to be a mistake. So ask yourself, do you still have the wills? Congratulations. If you don't have the wills, bad news upfront. Okay, so you need to be very careful, because you are not going to get another opportunity like Weownomy. Okay, you are not going to get that opportunity. Other opportunities are expensive. So take it and understand, okay, that this is critically important for you. And if you, for some reason, decided to, throw away the wills or dump them, if you have an opportunity, go back to the market and buy them before they go up, okay? And so that's very, very important and critical for you. to understand that we are building a network, we're building something that will support our futures. You need to protect your vision, help make sure we all succeed together and make yourself, the whole world, a better place. But you also have the obligation to listen. You also have an obligation to make sure that when an opportunity comes to you, don't mess up, okay? And that's something very critical for you to actually understand that, okay? So you are a valued member of Weownomy, and that's why I take my time to really make sure that you understand this, you understand how people make money, okay? And how to be successful and be very productive. Understand you will not become successful just through speculation and greed or negative comments. Just learn to listen, learn to understand that we're building a kind of community, okay? And our mission is to make sure we build wealth together and understand that all the creativity that we provide you and all the different strategic partners that we have brought together, they should be able to help you become a better person. And that is critically important to change, because these things are not taught at school. So if you have a life lesson that shows you how to be successful, okay, you have to really be very grateful for that. So that's very critical, that I thought that I should also share with you this important opportunity that allows us to build a community that is dedicated to growth and a future that we all desire. We have a great deal of wealth creation opportunities, and we have really made it very critically that we now have our XWeon solidly supported in the market with the hedge fund agreement, a strategic collaboration with Tether to really put up the liquidity that is required. So it's something very, very critical, okay? So I am very, very excited about it. And it's critical that we care about your opportunity, and we want to make sure that all of us benefit, because this is all about what we have decided to make sure that you become successful. We also become grateful with you. So that's something very, very, very important for you to really understand. So I also congratulate a lady called Soulful. She came up with a very unique idea, which is the Weownomy Business Weekly magazine. I think this is very, very clear to really help to educate as many different communities. So so it's something that I want you to really participate in. If you're in different countries, I've been getting emails from different people who have different projects. I think this weekly magazine will provide us a platform whereby we can listen to as many different views that are out there and be able to build our community in a very strategic and very important way. So it has different aspects in there, and I thought it very important to bring it out and let all people know about this important weekly magazine that all our different co-owners can be able to understand and know what they can learn from the different initiatives that are out there, and how the whole important developments that are coming through, and any new latest news or something like that that is also coming through. So that's very, very important for all of you. So I wanted to just take you through and show you one of the, just to show you this important magazine. Okay. So that's very, very great. And I think it will also help many different Weownomers to actually share as many ideas in there and guide them strategically to make sure that they get much important information that is required. So I think this is something critical. It's very important. Congratulations, Soulflow. You've done something great. And so it has all these important sections: top 10 Weownomy innovators, success tips, experience is the future. It has an article about His Excellency Sir Patrick Bejo. They've also put me in there, update from the IT desk. So it's something very critical that all of our different co-owners can learn. It has some of the articles there, Mr. Yusuf, myself there. It has critical, important news that you can be able to read, and herself, Soulflow here, the editor, and she has all this important information that she's sharing. Okay, and I think it's very, very important so that we can coordinate all the different important developments in the community, and people can learn and know all that is required. And so it also talks about what I've just mentioned here today, the 90 million Tether USDT. So that is also very important because it's critically important to coordinate all this information because we have all this different information that is required for a community to understand and get informed. And so it can be populated to all the members in different groups to be able to learn and understand this. So that's greatly very powerful. So thank you, Soulful, for this important information and magazine that you've set up. And I think it's critically timely for what you've done. And I think you deserve appreciation in this regard. And definitely you should continue doing this to provide our community as much information as possible so that they can learn and know that we have a great deal of information that is provided, and that's beautiful, and allow them to make sure that they also contribute because it's a community that needs everyone to participate and be part of the success of what we're building. So this is absolutely an excellent venture, initiative, and we salute you for this. So thank you so much. And we are very grateful for what you have done, and would want you to continue and make sure that we keep our community educated, focused, and make sure that everything is absolutely successful for everyone who is part of this. Now, the closing remarks of our presentation today is we have been able to know that we have signed a hedge fund agreement, which I've shown you. We have a strategic collaboration, which is going to be signed. We've already signed with the hedge fund again on the strategic MOU collaboration with Tether, and Tether is going to follow up. And so during the course of the week, we'll give you that update. And so what needs to happen is Tether and our hedge fund partner are going to go through some important final discussions are required to finalize and make sure that we have the 90 million USDT liquidity, and then we can allow you to be able to benefit from the one-on-one ratio conversion, and that will be communicated to you and make sure that you can benefit from that. So the important thing is make sure when you have your wins, be wise. Don't just make reckless decisions, because we are building a sustainable long-term future program for you. And we've come a long way now that we have this very important strategic agreements that have already been signed. And so what is going to come out is we will be able to announce to you the very fast access program that allows you to do the one-on-one liquidity participation to be able to have the large-scale swap to XWions. And again, the next part will be for the hedge fund together with the private exchange to also launch the buy program for those ones who are WION holders and they would like to buy to sell their WIONs for between $1 and $50. And so that's critically important. So thank you very much, and take time, go through this presentation and learn to listen, because this is very, very critically important as we provide you strategic, important information that is going to really guide those ones who are truly ready to become successful and understand. As you know, we have different progress that goes through every week, and make sure that it's important you understand. And now, if you're a WIONs holder, you have a great deal of success because you listen and take these lessons that we provide you strategically, and you can be able to see the progress that we do in every week and allow you to grow. So it's very, very grateful. And for those ones who blew their WIONs, that is your karma, and it's up to you to wake up and go back to the market and buy the WIONs before those WIONs are bought by other people who need them more than you, if you truly decided to do that. So thank you very much. Good night, and learn that life requires to have a purpose, and you're very lucky that we're doing all of this and educating you step by step. But if you don't take this critical presentation, which is important for you, with all the important developments that we share with you, then you are going to be blamed. And the one who's successful and listens and follows through and is a WIONs holder is going to be successful. So it's a matter of, do you still have your WIONs or you don't have your WIONs? So that's critically important. Thank you very much. We'll keep you updated and follow through. Listen to the presentation again so that you are able to learn critical, important information that we share with you. So thank you greatly, and good night for now. Bye.